Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the AfiaSports Banter Box on this wonderful day, the 19th day of the month of March, day of our Lord 2026. Welcome, guys. I hope you had a wonderful week. You have had a wonderful week. We're still somewhere around midweek, just 2 days to the fullness of the weekend. Welcome, guys. And we are going to be reaching you on the frequencies as usual: channel 254 DSTV, channel 17 Go TV, and channel 748 Free TV. It's great to be here, guys. My name is CC Emechebe. I'm also known as CC the Rabbi. And we have some very dicey situations to discuss today in the Afia Sports Banter Box. In all honesty, I feel like laughing, but it would have been funny. The situation would have been funny if we were not pathetic, which is why I'm going to reserve my laughter for better things. I'm referring to the first topic in the Afia Sports Banter Box, which has to do with the infamous verdict that CAF released recently concerning the African Cup of Nations that was concluded on the 18th day of the month of January 2026, where Senegal were crowned as champions of Africa under very controversial circumstances. Now, if you remember, that game was a game that was full of many incidents. We know about the shenanigans of the Moroccans and their fans and their ball boys, even their players. They were there ensuring that they were making the game very untenable for everybody they played. Nigeria tasted that, where people will go and steal the towels of the goalkeepers. Though Wambale had to rush several times to pick his towel. He kept stealing the towels to discombobulate the goalkeepers. They did that and then, of course, ended up winning Nigeria on penalties. But they got to Senegal in the final. Senegal would have none of that. They kept stealing, the ball boys kept stealing the towels and getting under the skin of the Senegalese, even to the point that the Senegalese third choice goalkeeper acted as a keeper of the keeper, let's put it that way, by holding the towel and then making sure that whatever the Moroccans were trying to do, their shenanigans and antics did not get under their skin. It all culminated in a goal that was disallowed for the Senegalese, and then eventually, in the dying embers of the game, a penalty, a very soft penalty, given against Senegal and in favor of Brahim Diaz, the Real Madrid forward. And then as a result, the Senegalese had it up to here and walked off the pitch. Now, actually, when I say they walked off the pitch, not all of them walked off the pitch because their talisman, the captain, the legend himself, Sadio Mane, remained on the pitch, listened to the words of some of the legends there, including El Hadji Diouf, and then went back to call to summon the players to return to the pitch. And the game continued. The referee blew the whistle. The game continued. Now, when the game continued, the penalty that was called was taken. A panenka became a pancake, and then we saw the save. Mendy saved the attempted panenka of Brahim Diaz, and then eventually Senegal won by that lone goal. And the trophy was awarded to Senegal on the 18th of January. Now, fast forward, today is the 19th, so yeah, that's good. That means yesterday made it exactly 2 months since Senegal were given the trophy, only for CAF to revert and then quote Article 82 of the CAF bylaws and state that as a result of walking off the pitch, Senegal were rendered, their victory was rendered null and void, and it was like a walkover. So the result and a 3-0 win was given to Morocco. Now, that begs the question. I don't want to talk about my opinion regarding that. This is the Banter Box. We have gladiators who are going to discuss that and nuke it out and slug it out and then talk about their own points. And the people that we're going to entertain right now that will discuss this issue and bring their strong points and probably even lock horns together, lock jaws together, lock whatever is lockable together. First of all, we have to my left the queen herself. I'm talking about the goddess, self-acclaimed goddess of sports, the sports goddess herself. That is Queen Chioma Chikeze in the red corner. Queen, good to have you.
Yeah, it's great to be here once again, but it's quite sad. It's quite disappointing. It's the Banter Box.
Yeah.
So we're going to see what we're going to do about this topic.
Good. We'll get to that.
There's going to be a shocker for you.
Don't worry. I have shock absorbers, trust me. So don't worry about the shocker. Okay. And then talking about shockers, I have the man that is shocked. He was flabbergasted. In fact, he was shock-prized, shocked and surprised when he heard the news, just like many of us. Referring to the man in the blue corner himself, the self-acclaimed priest of football. I'm not in the mood for dishing out insults today. So really, all the insults should be reserved for The powers that be, those who deserve the insults. And of course, referring to Emeka Madueke, the priest of football, self-acclaimed priest of football, Femelo, good to have you.
It's good to be here. It's good to be here. Thank you for having me.
All right. So the first question in the for the banter box is very simple. After CAF's decision to award Morocco the AFCON title to the detriment of Senegal, the Teranga Lions of Senegal, so the Atlas Lions of Morocco have grabbed a title that should belong to the other Lions, the Teranga Lions of Senegal. So as a result of this, is there any justifiable excuse for this? Is CAF's decision to award Morocco their second title, that's according to CAF, their second title in their history at the expense of Senegal justifiable in any way whatsoever? I don't know who's going to go first. I'm going to give you the opportunity to choose. Who wants to go first? Because this is not a very pleasant discussion. But go ahead, Emeka.
I want to go first.
Before you go first, Emeka, I thought there's going to be a shock.
Okay, I'm prepared to be shocked.
Because, give me your hand for the first time. We're going to do this. So we are in this together.
Is that a handshake across the Niger?
Oh, a handshake that we are going to be on the same path because it's going to be difficult. We have to roast CAF.
Hey, okay, wait. Hold on, just for the record. For the record, this is the AfiaSports Banter Box, so there's banter. Okay, so what you're telling me right now, and you have to assure me, what you're telling me right now is that we're not going to, no, I'm coming. We are not going to be starved of banter here, but the issue is that both of you are teaming up to banter CAF.
Exactly.
Bring it on.
Exactly.
The floor is open. So please.
Ladies first. Ladies
All
first.
right. I mean, see, this is the biggest joke. I was thinking, someone said it's the biggest joke of the century. I'm thinking, no. I've thought through the world of football. So I started following football, started reading about football. What more joke can be more laughable, more funny than what CAF just did? I mean, and I'm imagining Jimmy Carragher hearing this news in the comfort of his home, and he'll be like, okay, okay, who were those crucifying me? Shouldn't some people be apologizing to Jimmy Carragher? Shouldn't some people be apologizing to Jurgen Klopp that said and felt like AFCON was just a little tournament in one continent? And CAF, and in particular, Patrice Motsepe, have decided to prove them right. I mean, this is pathetic. This is the most pathetic I've ever seen in the history of African footballing politics and whatever kind of politics you want to say. How do you award a tournament to a group of people after 2 months? Now, a tournament was played. Every shenanigan that happened. We saw what Morocco did. In fact, personally, I was expecting that the likes of Achraf Hakimi should be even stripped of their awards, the Golden Boy, the African Best Award, due to his involvement in a lot of these shenanigans. But no, you went to the tournament. We had a tournament. We had the winner. Trophies were handed out. Celebrations happened. They went to Dakar, Senegal, carried out trophy parade, everything. And everybody left. We went back to enjoying Arsenal, bantering Chelsea. We continued our life watching club-side football. And boom, from nowhere, on the night when we were supposed to have so much excitement with the result that the Champions League gave to us, CAF decided to turn the whole thing around and steal the joy. Like, rob Africa practically on the mud, dragging Africa like without any iota of shame before the whole world. Like, everybody is practically laughing and asking what is going on in Africa. And it is the height of it this is the height of it. Now, what would be justifiable for CAF? They said it's a rule 84. Rule 82, rather. Before Rule 82, we had Law 5.2 that states that the referee has the final say. Whatever the referee decides on the pitch as connects to whether a goal scored stands or not, the result of a game is final and the decision of the referee should be respected. Now, you're bringing Rule 82 that states that if for any reason whatsoever a team decides not to come, avoid, works out, whatever, they should be, eliminated from the tournament for good.
All right. So let me tell
Now, what happens with that is that, let me just conclude. What happened with that is this. The moment the referee, because he was the chief director of that very match, whatever he says stands. He knows these rules. If he had, after 10 minutes, these guys left, of course, again, we cannot say they all left because we had Sadio Mane on the pitch still remaining. The moment it was 10 minutes later, he should have just blew the whistle and ended the game. But the moment he allowed that game to continue and get to a conclusion, Rule 84, Rule 82, Rule 83, everything became null and void. I don't know. The kind of, let me use, because this is Africa, let me use my Nigerian terms now. I don't know the kind of open check that Morocco gave to Patrice Motsepe and his disciplinary or whatever committee or board they call
Allegedly.
them. Allegedly. This is me thinking. Because this decision cannot be done on a platter. It's not possible.
Okay.
Okay,
Now,
over to you.
allegedly or non-allegedly, that is to be decided. But I mean, I have never really respected Patrice Motsepe myself. He has been over the years making decisions that seems like he has one side bias
Yeah.
towards people. Once, especially when he goes to countries from either West Africa or most especially from the
West
African
African zones, yeah.
he has his bias tilting towards the opposite side. And he has come out to really show us how much of that bias is in his body, because you can't go from crowning a winner during the conference of the tournament to 2 months later dropping a bombshell like this. I'm sorry, CAF has lost every credibility and every atom of respect from every African and every player outside Africa, because you can't do such a thing. Whether it's Article 82 dash this dash that page, whatever, you don't bring it 2 months after the competition has been concluded. The
So even-
referee has the final say, like she pointed out.
Just before you
Okay.
get back in, because I'm doing something that is quite odd, since it's a banter box and I'm meant to play devil's advocate, but to blazes with the devil here. Let's just face the fact. Let's tackle this together. No, it could be argued that Senegal, if they are going to cast, like we said, of course they're going to cast to make this argument.
They've already gone.
It could be argued that Article 82 was misapplied because the game continued.
Of course.
And then the fact that the game continued, and of course, the only official that has the right to continue a game, like we're pointing out, is the referee. Now, the game continued. As the game continued, the penalty
Was taken.
and missed. And then eventually everything went on. And then Senegal won. They played on to the final whistle. And then cheers flew. There were cheers and jeers and cheers. And eventually the Moroccans collected their medals.
Medals,
The
FIFA
Senegalese
medals.
collected their medals. They went back. And all well and good. Now, if Article 82 were valid, it should have been triggered off the moment those players
Exactly.
returned to the pitch. Or in
Pitch.
fact, when they walked off the pitch.
The moment they
Once
walked
off
off,
the pitch, they would
that's
have just
the end of
announced
it.
officially this game has
Is
been called
off.
And because you're bringing the game to dispute, we're awarding the
Win
win to
to
Morocco.
Morocco.
Why wait for 2 full months? Now, really, CAF has a lot to explain.
Now, do you know the funny thing?
No, I'm coming. I want to come there because CAF has a lot to explain. Because, like I always say on the different shows here on Afia, if it looks like a pig, smells like a pig, oinks like a pig, it probably isn't a warthog. Because the thing is this: you look at the antecedents of CAF, concerning Morocco, vis-a-vis Morocco. Morocco have been the hosts
Of course.
with strings attached. Obviously, everybody can say
Of
that there's
course.
strings attached. Now, WAFCON happened. Morocco
Saw what
were
they did.
expected by many to win.
Of
But
course.
the Super Falcons, thank goodness, showed why they were then the 9-time champions, and then they showed that they were too strong and won them coming from behind. Esther Okoronkwo was the player of the match. There. Rashid Ajibade became the player of the tournament. They got their final shortlist of 3 players and stylishly removed Esther Okoronkwo
Exactly.
and left Rashid Ajibade. It's okay, fine. Ghislaine Shibak was there. Now, people were in 2 players, Moroccan players were there, who were beaten finalists. And then Ghislaine Shibak was given the title of African Player of the Year. You need to make it make sense because that was daylight robbery.
Robbery.
Now, as if that's not bad enough, let's understand, is it that the rent CAF is paying to Morocco is all the all these
All
different
these-
favors that
of
are given,
course.
because it
That's how
doesn't
it
make sense.
seems.
It doesn't make sense for 1 second.
Why would you even award a win 2 months later to a team that joyfully, happily got back into the game? Because Morocco cannot argue that they were coerced into the game.
Nobody used a towing van to drag them into the pitch.
For
They were
instance,
there.
if they knew this was going to happen, they wouldn't have accepted. They would have, protested about ensuring that Article 82 was,
Since the rule was
involved. But because they thought they had an advantage because of that
It was a penalty that they were almost dead certain was going into the back
so
of the net.
when it now happened that the reverse was the case, Morocco, they are one thing with greedy people is that they do not care about the consequences of their actions. And Morocco were so greedy and so ambitious about winning the AFCON that they damned every consequences. I mean, how do Morocco even go? Thank God they're going to the World Cup. And I'm going to imagine how they're going to look their opponent from the European continent in the face when they get into the pitch to play in the World Cup and everybody's looking at you.
Well, one thing is certain, most of their European counterparts and their South American counterparts and their Asian counterparts, we look at them with disgust.
Of
One is
course.
certain. How they will live with themselves, I can't say.
can't
I'm not really
tell.
sure. And then the fact that they are co-hosting the World Cup in 2030.
30.
People
Again,
do not
people-
forget.
of
People don't
course.
forget. Say, okay, if these guys can pull off these shenanigans at the continental stage, what will happen at the world stage?
By when they host.
Really, so they have a lot of image laundering to do. CAF has a lot of image laundering to do. The Royal Moroccan Federation, Football Federation, has a lot of image laundering to do. But Patrice Motsepe has a lot of
his own,
image laundering to do.
Oh my God.
Because really, this is something that it beggars belief, really, because it just happened. People were shocked. People were just absolutely shocked.
I saw it, I was shouting. I was like, no. I had to check my calendar to think, are we in 1st April? Could CAF be doing April Fool to say, oh, it was just a prank? Somebody told me that would be such an expensive prank
Now,
because
the question begs now, how do we as a continent look the rest of the world and portray our tournament to be a well planned out federation, a well thought and calculated tournament that is free and fair for all nations to go about. Now, this begs the fact that who is interested in playing in the next edition in Uganda and Tunisia? Because if Morocco can do this, Patrice Motsepe might wake up tomorrow and say, okay, let's just trigger it away for the host to win it.
I mean,
Tanzania,
Kenya, and Uganda.
know that a precedent has been set. So they can point to this precedent and say, you know what? What is good for the goose is
It's
good for the
good for the
gander. Or like my
gander.
dear friend will say, what is good for Greece is good for Uganda. Funny enough, Uganda is in this picture.
It's in this person.
But,
But then, finally,
yeah, final thoughts.
finally
before
on
we
this,
move to
finally
the
on
next
this, the thing is, I would say this is my opinion. I know football is, how do they put it out? It's a unifying game. Football is about love, it's about sportsmanship. But I'm going to keep all of those aside and I'm going to have one advice for any big African player who is listening to me right now. Although Senegal has gone to CAS to register their complaint as, reported. And I know from all indication, CAF is going to reverse this, CAS is going to reverse this CAF's decision. But I would have said that all of Africans' big players, especially because if we talk about the federations now, it might be difficult because a lot of them have affiliation with the Patrice Motsepe himself and all of those. Some of them are in different positions. So it might be difficult for them to get their federations to, boycott or pull out because of their personal selfish interests, which we have seen predominantly in this part of the world. So I'm going to say every big African players, the likes of Mo Salah, the likes of Victor Boniface, the likes of what's his name, Osimhen, Ademola Lookman, name them, Sadio Manis, and all should boycott any CAF tournament, at least for now.
That is
For now,
pending
the result of CAS
verdict.
verdict.
Yes, CAS
But for now, they should. I mean, we have international break coming on soon. They shouldn't come. Nobody should come. You're on break, relax in your home in Europe. Have your own time and with your family. Let's see what happens. Because if they don't, it means that indirectly they are saying, oh yeah, whatever happens, we are in agreement. But if they don't show up. They are the ones that give the CAF tournament a face. They are the one that makes people want to watch it, and thereby making CAF make money from those tournaments. But if they decide not to, the whole world knows that what are we going to watch? The whole world will say, okay, yeah, we'll support them. Nobody is going to be after it and all. And it's going to affect them. I mean, next time, because this is not the first time they are doing this. They did it in 2019 in the CAF Champions League between Esperance and Wydad. When Wydad walked away from Casablanca, walked away, they actually didn't return. They abandoned that game. The referee, after some minutes, called off that a match and awarded the win and trophy to Esperance. CAF came back, though not CAF, but I mean the organizing executive came back to cancel the verdict of the referee and state a replay. Esperance had to go back to CAF. It took CAS to ensure that CAF obeyed their own rules. I mean,
Just imagine that.
how do we go back?
Violating the
Your own
referee's
rules.
decisions,
I mean,
your rules.
decisions.
It's sickening to watch this type of
Anyway,
modern day
yeah.
football.
Please, just your final thoughts. before
I
we
mean,
move to-
like she has said most of the verdicts of what has to happen. Boycotting has to be the major thing that these players need to do, because when you make a mockery of the continental stage, it shows the unseriousness of the leaders of the set tournaments and organizers. Patches Musepe, wherever you are, I don't know if you're listening or if you're listening, but you need to sit up. You're not doing a good job. And if you're not doing a good job, you need to be replaced, because this shenanigans can continue.
So there you have it. Everybody who's listening, we make bold to say that CAF drops the ball big time, a clanger in this one, and you need to go back and do the right thing, because the people's champion is Senegal, and the rightful, lawful champion, according to the rules of the book, as far as we are concerned, is Senegal. So you, CAF, are on trial. You're the ones on trial. Do the right thing. Dr. Patrice Musepe, president of CAF, do the right thing, because there is global outrage, not just continental outrage, global outrage concerning this recent decision. So something has to give, and it had better put you on the right side of history. We'll be right back after this short break, because we have another topic to handle in the banter box. Stay tuned. Don't touch that dial. Welcome back to the Afia Sports Banter Box on Afia TV. The frequencies are still channel 254 DSTV, channel 17 Go TV, and channel 748 Free TV. Welcome back, guys. We still have the good guys here with us. Emeka Madoka, the self-acclaimed priest of football, and then Queen Choma Chikeze, the self-acclaimed sports goddess here. And here I am, not just self-acclaimed CC the Rabbi, but the CC the Rabbi that everybody knows. Authentic,
Also
genuine.
self-acclaimed as well.
Never.
Take that to the bank. I thought as
Never. He that has the mic makes the rule, and that is clear. I'm not self-acclaimed.
Okay.
My record speaks for me. Anyway, of course, we talking about records. Such records are very, very important, but they need to be gotten through excellent means. Like a presidential candidate said a couple of years ago, that if you're going to answer the term Your Excellency, you have to make sure that you go through excellent methods. No prizes for guessing who that candidate was. But the issue right now is this: Chelsea Football Club recently were sanctioned by the EnglishFA regarding irregularities, financial irregularities, and issues that happened in the times past concerning, signing of first team players. And then they were given a £10 million, actually just £10.75 million. That's the exact amount, which is $13.7 million or 11.6 million euro fine from the Premier League, which was related to alleged breaches of financial rules. But this happened during the Roman Abramovich era. Now, during that period, they signed players. This was between they signed players like Samuel Eto'o fees. If you remember vividly, Samuel Eto'o was signed during that period. You had players like Andre Schürrle, he was signed there. Also, you had players like Willian Ramirez, Eden Hazard also was there. David Luiz was there. Then Nemanja Matic. These were players that were signed. And then they all actually avoided some stiffer punishments based on the severity of the crime. They were not awarded a points deduction. There was no relegation mentioned. Of course, that would be too far-fetched. But, for something as serious as that, maybe not as close as the 115 charges, 130 charges that one other club is faced with.
Well.
But the truth of the matter is that every reasonable pundit has agreed that this was a mere slap on the wrist, and there's outrage everywhere regarding that they got away with £10 million. Now, £10 million is more like the ice cream allowance of any of their players in a week. So I'm just wondering how suspended sentences were given, warnings were given, but no serious charges. So that then begs the question, was the verdict of the English FA fair to Chelsea? Did they receive more punishment than necessary or less punishment than necessary? I'm going to throw the floor open one more time. This time, we're going to start with the man that I feel I have an idea where his own allegiance lies. So, Emeka Madoka, the self-acclaimed piece of football, over to you. What do you think?
I would liken it down to our very own league right here, where we see fines thrown every week and every firm, AK market days. I believe it was fair enough to throw just a 10.37 million fine. It's fair enough because when you look at the set crimes, it's not as if these transfers were not recorded in the club's transfer. It's just that the funds were boycotted into other means. Now, what the personnel in the club do is their own business. But were the records of the transfers stated? Yes, they were. Eden Hazard's record was stated. Williams' record was stated. The likes of Mikel Obi's records were stated.
But the Akazo that happened.
That is
the Akazo that happened.
The Akazo she's referring to is about £47 million in secret payments to unregistered agents. And this happened on third parties between 2011 and 2018. A lot of
for all these players
Mago was going behind the scenes. But in fact, I just want to point out something. This is not me trying to take any sides, but somehow one would argue that in fairness to Chelsea, when the Clear Lake Consortium came into power,
of course,
and then they saw what happened. They then self-reported. They said, no, this will implicate us. They self-reported. But to balance that, it's like a murderer, somebody who has killed 3 people, self-reports and say, I did this.
So
and
police.
I'm remorseful. So police, it's okay. Punishments are punishments.
Remorseful.
But go ahead.
Are they really remorseful?
Emeka,
remorseful.
Because they were not the ones in charge.
She's going to talk, but please.
The key word here is remorseful, because why would I self-report a crime that my predecessors made, which will not benefit me if I'm going to self-report it? There was a remorse there. That's why Todd Bowley had to rush and self-report the case.
Emeka, how do you sleep at night?
Sorry, now, let me answer.
How do you sleep at night? How you sleep at night?
Let me answer that question now. He self-reported it because if he didn't, there will have been more severe sanctions coming out. That is why he received the 10 million fine. Now, if he didn't self-report it and it was discovered, there could have been point deductions included. There could have been a case of relegation included. But the self-reporting has been...
Before Queen steps in and then brings her rebuttal, which I expect to bring, of course, everybody who is watching, look very well. The camera is looking now. You can see what Emeka is wearing. He's wearing blue tinted glasses.
Exactly.
You get why.
You get why.
Go ahead, Queen.
All right. My dear friend, no, we're not friends anymore. Our friendship ended with
Cal.
We're not friends anymore.
See your life?
I mean, how do you support broad daylight partiality? Because
I will support it because there are 115 crimes that have to be discovered.
Why always the blues?
It's just
why always the blues?
Unfortunately, there has to be this color.
Why always the blues?
I have red also included, but
no,
it's more blue than
it's more blues than red.
Actually, blue.
It's more blue than red.
Dark blue and sky blue.
Because blue shines brighter than red.
Okay. Now, you look at what I think about Premier League FA is that they are all backs without bites. It's more like a father having a favorite child. So when it's comes to your favorite child,
because the favorite has not been touched.
When it's the favorite child, you bend the rules. When it's not the favorite child, you bring out all your disciplinary weapons and you lash on this child. Because let's look at what Nottingham Forest did. That gave them how many point deduction? About 6 points. Deduction.
It was a 6 point.
Everton had a 10-point deduction. They had to appeal it to reduce the point. We had last time We had the Leicester City also, point deduction. They are going down to the second
One.
division now from
the championship.
From the championship, they are going to the League One now. And which other team again? And all of these sanctions didn't take time. Now it came to Chelsea. With all of the, yes, we know Todd Bowley self-reported, right? But nothing should have taken away, even if it is just 2-point deduction from that sanction. Now, if you feel like you okay, because he's self-reported, I'm not going to give him a point deduction. Why suspend the bans? What's the suspension of the ban or suspended ban for? Okay. Suspended this for 2 years. You're probing them. You and I know Todd Bowley is not living in 2 years' time. And if Abramovich was still in charge of Chelsea till now, those issues wouldn't have been reported. It would have still been hidden up till now. So why give them such lenient punishment? It does not serve as any how do I put it now, to anybody. Deterrent to anybody.
Okay, let me say this.
Oh, grace.
Grace, Ebe. Which grace?
Don't. Anyway, okay. I have a theory. I have a theory. You can call it a conspiracy theory, but I'll get to that in a bit. First of all, I want to just report the signings that were named in the report and what exactly they were signed for. First of all, you had Ramirez, who was signed from Benfica in August 2010 for £70 million. You had David Luiz, who was signed from the same Benfica for £21.3 million in the February 2011. You had Eden Hazard, who was signed for £32 million from Lille in June 2012. You had Andre Schürrle, who was signed for £18 million from Bayer Leverkusen in June 2013. You had Samuel Eto'o, who was signed as a free transfer from AZ Machikala in August 2013. And you also had Willian, who was signed for £30 million from the same AZ Machikala in August 2013. So he and Eto'o came in the same window. Then Nemanja Matic, who was signed for £21 million from Benfica in January 2014. And Chelsea's league finishes and honors during that period covered by the charges. In the Premier League, Chelsea finished second in the 2010-11 season, sixth in the 2011-2012 season. That was when they won the Champions League also. Yeah. Then they finished third in the 2012-2013 season. They finished third in 2013-2014 season. They then won the league in 2014-2015 season. That was under Jose Mourinho. Then they finished 10th in 2015-2016. Then they won the league under Antonio Conte in 2016-2017. And then they finished 5th in the 2017-2018 season. Now, like I said, they won the Premier League twice during that period. They won the FA Cup twice in 2012 and 2018. Then they won the League Cup, Carabao Cup, in 2014-2015 season. Then they won the Champions League in 2011-2012 and won the Europa League in 2012-2013. Now, that's what they won then. Now, back to my theory before we wrap up things. This is my theory. It might not sound very popular, but I'll give it a shot. It's what I think. The rules that apply for the smaller clubs tend to be a bit different from the rules that apply for the bigger clubs. I'll mention my case in point.
Okay.
Chelsea, clearly, no matter what America tries to deceive you with here, Chelsea got away with murder here.
Of course.
Oh.
Yeah, but it is very possible now, allegedly, so I'm putting allegations on the ground. Allegedly, the EnglishFA, knowing the importance of the cash inflow from Manchester City and other oil-rich clubs, probably decided to do this as a precedent for the 115 FC that is still pending.
Course.
So they'll point and say, look, this is what we did to Chelsea. So what we are going to do for Man City will be fair. So probably they might avoid stripping of titles, avoid significant points deductions. They are going to avoid certain things. They are going to receive obviously much more. Even though theirs it should be a different case because Chelsea, at least under Todd Bowley, self-reported. Manchester City, for the better part of almost 20 seasons, have been denying
that didn't
So
happen.
Really, I think we'll just sit back with our popcorn and watch and see what happens. Because really, I'm just thinking about how...
And in addition, I hope Mikel Obi, who points as cheaters, can actually see what is going on here.
You know, Mikel Obi.
That my brother.
Mikel Obi, our
I
dear
will-
brother.
Oh,
We will swim in your
sometimes.
tears very, very
Sometimes.
soon because
Mm.
you see, you picked the wrong time to start spouting
Um,
things that you ought not to spout.
I'm
Really,
telling
Mikel.
you.
We love you. Much love from me and Mikel. But
Of course. But
guy,
sometimes.
you didn't get it well, right?
Can
now.
I add
Coughed.
something?
Yes, please go ahead.
Now, in fairness to what your arguments are, and I see very much good sides to your arguments. Yeah, Chelsea should have faced a stiffer punishment.
Now he tells the truth.
Now,
Oh,
yeah.
bravo.
Oh, yeah.
Bravo.
Yeah, but I will
Whoa.
stick to the verdict because there's still 115 crimes on charge. So until that is checked out, then Chelsea may be given harsher punishment.
But while you're thinking, because really, he raised the points because
Of course.
also there are 74 pending charges
Mm.
that Chelsea have been accused of. So we're
Of
still waiting
course.
to see how
how
now-
that pans out.
So I don't know. I could be wrong.
115
Let's see if I can-
crimes.
And to even
Check
think
that.
that they have been saying Manchester United cheated on that Sir Alex Ferguson. How long now have Sir Alex Ferguson left?
That was a known fact. But let's leave that.
And yet we haven't seen any conviction.
Every day can be for the thief.
They have not been convicted of any
is
crime.
a testimony to how legendary and how crafty
cannot
Sir Alex
be for-
Ferguson was.
How?
Come on,
How
give me
is
a
that
round of applause if you
possible?
must.
It can't be
They
for the
accuse you of cheating, of committing
And there's
crimes.
no evidence.
Yes, there is no
Teflon
evidence.
gone.
It is
You
said.
cannot be
Every day for the
convicted.
thief,
Oh
one
my
day for the
word.
owner.
Now, who's
Okay.
the thief in this one?
Who is the thief
You're calling
now?
the 84
Now who be the
84-year-old
thief
man
and
a
who
thief?
be the owner?
How
I
dare
mean-
you?
If he barks like a dog, must be a dog. So
What if it's an cookie?
a cookie is still a dog.
Someone would argue against that.
Chihuahua, a cookie, Bravo, Rottweiler is still a dog.
But at least for now, we know who the thieves are. They've been held. They've been caught.
Only part of
Until you
them.
are caught, you're still an
See,
innocent
there's no
person.
difference between you and the government.
Oh no, there is a great difference. Bring your proof.
You're reminding me of what
Bring
someone
your
said about the
proof.
government. Somebody once said that the government doesn't like that. Somebody says don't steal because the government hates competition. But that's the point you're trying to make. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know about that.
I don't know about that.
I know
Ah,
I'm
you know.
quoting somebody. Please take that quote with a pinch of salt. It's just a quote. Not my quote.
Somebody's quote, yes.
Good.
Somebody.
Yes.
Yes.
Allegedly.
Mm.
So,
So,
to find out
um,
who somebody is.
Let's give final thoughts on this issue concerning, because really, on a more serious note, we in the first segment of the Banter Box, we were complaining about African football, which way Africa, and we are dropped with this clanger because we are seeing, it seems to give us the impression that pretty much every football federation can be compromised.
Mhm. Exactly.
So does it mean that we should give ourselves a pat on the back and give ourselves a pass and say, after all, everybody's doing it? Or should we just say
Can I just add
that there
something?
should be some sanitizing of the system,
Can I just
football-wise?
add something that I've been saying for a very long time?
Go ahead and
now?
add it.
And that is that this beautiful game has lost its beauty because when you look at the politics that comes into football and other sports now, you don't see that beauty anymore. The joy and enjoyment of the game is gone because someone might win the competition, then 15 months later they overturn it and say, oh,
You
A
didn't
won
win
instead
again.
of B. Or you might get some decisions called against you because of, oh, we like this person rather than this other person.
Okay, so I mean, Emeka said that, and thank goodness he talked about the beautiful game, and it's a good thing that he didn't accuse Arsenal of anything this time around. Thank goodness for that.
I
All right, we'll be right back. We'll be right back after this short break, and we'll just wrap up things, cross our T's and dot our I's concerning the Afia Sports Banter Box. Stay tuned. Don't touch that dial. Welcome back to the Afia Sports Banter Box on Afia TV. And of course, we're bringing the final thoughts concerning the two interesting points we raised. First of all, this is a message to CAF. We've talked about that. We'll keep on saying that. CAF, you are meant to be a bastion of hope that the beautiful game will be respected and things are done as and when due and games are won, tournaments are won fair and square. The recent ruling of CAF concerning Morocco receiving the title 2 full months after they should have given them the title if they are following the so-called rule of the book is outrageous and beggars belief and demands a lot of explanations. CAF, you did not get this right at all. Now the burden of proof is on you to ensure that you do right by everybody involved. It is unfair to the Teranga Lions. It is unfair to the Senegalese Football Federation. It is unfair to African football because right now we are a laughing stock to world football. Everybody who thinks
unfair to Africa as a whole.
Africa, yes, it's unfair to Africa as a whole. Now, getting to the issue of the Chelsea situation, Well, that was a slap on the wrist. Chelsea should consider themselves very, very fortunate they got away with that. Perhaps the FA thought that Christmas came early, but still, what is right is right. And you should do the right thing at every point in time and make sure that there are no secret cows or scapegoats on either side of the divide. Thank you very much for being with us. We've heard what you have to say, because let me close. Thank you very much everybody. Thank you very much for being with us on the AfiaSports Banter Box. Like Amadoke, the self-acclaimed priest of football. Thank you, as usual. And then Queen Choma Chigeze, the self-acclaimed sports goddess. Thank you very much. And also, I want to appreciate those who are behind the scenes. We see you, Harrison J himself, and then, of course, Praise. Thank you very much for what you do behind the scenes. And then, of course, yes, I saw that. Also, in the MCR, thank you very much. MCR, who's in the MCR? Is it Jonathan? Is it the one? I think it is. Okay, yeah, it's Rising. Rising is there right now before I miss Jonathan. And Rising. So, Rising, thank you very much for being the authorizing that you are. You and I know what that means. Thank you very much. And then, of course, I want to thank David, I beg your pardon, not Victor, it was David that was behind the PCR today. Thank you, David. I also know that Chiamaka was somewhere around there, and Chidera is somewhere in this building. Thank you very much, everybody, for what you do in the Afia Sports franchise. We'll do this again tomorrow during the Afia Sports Preview Square on AfiaTV. The time, 5 p.m. The frequencies still remain the same. Channel 254 DSTV, Channel 17 GoTV, and Channel 748 Free TV. Till then, remain blessed. I'm CC the Rabbi, not self-acclaimed, but known.
Self-acclaimed.
Signing out.
Self-acclaimed.